ladies and gearheads. Now, if you recall, we did this at the weekend at the Westfield, and what a fabulous, fabulous instrument it is. But as you will recall, the tone pot is dysfunctional for the middle pickup. Just on the subject of Strat type middle pickups, what on earth are they for? Who uses them? I don't think I do, unless I'm in one of the in-between hum cancelling positions. Apparently, you see, when Leo Fender came up with this design, what he said was that the bridge pickup was the lead pickup, that the neck pickup was the rhythm pickup, and the pickup in the centre was normal. So that sort of explains that. Anyway, let's have a look. And what I want to show you first is, and I've got, hang on. And I've got pulled a bunch of bits out of a drawer, which I shall show you. But of course, I want to make sure that the tone pot works prior to putting the thing in. And it's very, very easy to check if a tone pot works, or any pot. I mean, actually, pots or potentiometers, there's no volume or tone one, they're just variable rheostats really. So what you will need is a multimeter. These are about a £5, you know, from a variety of locations, and what you need to do is you need to be on ohms. You can see this little slider here, and they've all got more or less the same functions. So this little slider here has to be on the ohm setting, which is easily identifiable by the ohm symbol. You also need to set it to a setting that's equivalent or higher than the rating of the pot that you're working on. So if you're working on a 250k pot, then you want it more than that, or a 500k pot, the same or more than that. So we've got this set on. So we've got this set on the 500 mark here. 500 mark ohms. You've got two little proddy things. Let's have a look at these pots that I dug out of the parts bin. Yeah, it's so funny. I found this little setup with I have to say, quite a nice looking switch in there, and this has got an output jack socket, and it's got 3 pots attached to it, or at least it used to have. Must be another one knocking about somewhere. Anyway, and I have not got the first idea where these came from, but I found these off an old telly where I replaced all the wiring, and this is very obviously broken. This was the, as it turns out, the volume pot, and that is duff. You can tell just by feeling it, it's stiff and doesn't really want to move. But there was this little dodger here. So let's show you how to make sure that you know that the thing works. So I've turned the well, they call it a wiper blade, don't they, you see? So I've turned this up to full, and what we're going to do is, so now that the multimeter is set, as I've shown you, can we see the meter? I think we can. Pop something under there. Is that better? No. Yes. Okay, so you've got 2 end contacts, and you've got 1 centre one, which is the one that does the variation. So if I pop that on the 2 ends, it reads, I hope you can see that, 504, now 504. So if I now turn that to 0, it should read nothing. And if I had 3 hands, that would be much more convenient. So you now see that that reads 0, and as I turn the wiper blade, that should come to the same reading as it does when it's on the 2 ends, when it's on full turnage. So we know that this pot works. Brilliant stuff. So let's get it whacked in to our Westfield and restore it to proper original function. So first of all, I just want to show you in essence what I'm going to do. No, and sorry, that's not you, that's Felix. So I've used one of those little foam thingies that they use to protect the 3-position switch tip on a Gibson type guitar, and that just holds that neatly in place so that I can work on it. Obviously I've got a soldering iron because I want to remove all the duff stuff that's on there and any remaining wires, and I'm using one of these little plungers where you stick that on the molten solder, you press, and that sucks off any of the old solder. You don't have to use one of these, but they ain't half useful. Right, I'll do that. Right, okay, well, so we've whipped the scratch plate off, and I've taken off the, well, actually the tone control didn't offer any resistance when I removed it. So if you have a look at the scratch plate here, what you will see is that this has a shaft sticking out of it, and this has got a big hole, and that should sit inside there, and so it's this that has caused the difficulty. So I shall now remove that from there because it's not worth mucking about with repairing. Right, so I'll get this little thing out and we'll see what we can do. So there is the offending item, and I was rather hoping that I might just be able to shove it back in, but no, it's at it. Right, so let's whip the tone pot off. So, and what I really would recommend that you do is, if you are, unless you're very, very, very familiarly intimate with what's going on with these, I recommend that you take photographs so that if you sort of lose your track either on the way back or whatever, then at least you've got a record of what you're doing. So what I'm going to use to remove this is I'm going to use this, now this is my knob puller, but as you can see it has a serrated edge going in one direction and a serrated edge on the other side going in the opposite direction. So let's get that under there. Oh, that's okay. Well, that seems to move fairly freely. Take off the. That's that. So there is our tone pot removed from the scratch plate. Right. Okay. I'm going to heat the soldering iron up now, and then I shall show you what we do to whiz it off. Right. So I've taken a photo of the original wiring so that if I do get into any difficulty, then at least I've got a reference point to work from. I'm hoping that I won't need that, of course, but it's just good practice, that's all. So soldering iron at the ready, and all I'm going to do is just remove whatever's there. So I've got a ground wire here, which is also holding the little capacitor on. That's that off. And then, can you see this? Yes, you can. Oh, I've also put this here just in case any spatter occurs. And so it will protect the guitar body. So that's the right end that we've got off there. And now this is the bit that makes the difference. And this is the bit that attaches to the second tone pot. And that should be it. Except it isn't. Come on, you little. I'll tell you what. Seeing as that's at the end of its travel, I'll just nip that. There we go. So there is our defunct tone pot, and listen. You can hear the gears rattling about in there. Right, okay. Let's get the second one set up and get ready for that. So, very fortunately, it seems that this has the same size shaft as the originals. So we should be okay to go with this. So I'm going to, oh no, actually I'll tell you what, we'll solder it in first and then we'll nail it back down. Right. Right, okay. So here is the photo of the original installation, which, as you can see, it shows that the capacitor, this little brown thing here, goes from the centre lug to the earth, and that the wire that goes from there to the next tone pot is also in the centre. So that's all well and good, but on this capacitor you can see that perhaps you can see that goes into the left lug and then to earth on the other side, which is not the same as what we've got. They're both 500k parts, and so there's the original. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out of here, wire it into there, along with and really basically I'm just copying what was there originally. So I'll have a bit of a faff about with that and show you when I've done it. So we have now got I did replace the hot wire from the second tone pot to the centre terminal. Doing that. From the hot wire to the centre terminal because there wasn't much meat on it and I couldn't easily make it reach. We've got the ground wire from the switch onto the other end lug, and the only thing that is remaining is to pop this ground wire from the tone pot onto the base of the lug. So a bit of solder on there. And you know what they say with soldering, the bigger the blob, the better the job. Of course, that is far from being true. In other news, I've been working on a limerick, but I'm struggling to find something that rhymes at the end of it. What I've got so far is, let me see, where is it? Oh, it's over here. Oh. Yes. So hopefully that should be all square in there. So maybe you can help me with this. In England, a handsome young prince gives interviews that would make one wince. He took all his girlfriends to the Palace of Buckingham because that was where he most... I'm really struggling just to find an end line to that, so if anybody can help me out, I'd be very pleased. Right, let's nail it back up, tension the strings up, and let's see if the jolly little blighter works. Right, I copied the wiring from the own tone pot. Let's see what happened. Okay, so as if you can see what's going on with, right, okay, so let's see what happened. So we're now in the bridge. Okay, nothing, something, can't help but think that perhaps I should have done the standard way. So, whip it apart, we'll do that. Yeah, well, actually, I'm going to have to own up. Because I'm a slightly myopic fossil, what I'd actually managed to do was bridge two of the terminals together on the new tone control. So, with a little help from my friend, I identified the difficulty. So I'm going to put it back together. This time, let's hope it works. So, just in case, before I do, I've just put the first couple of screws in the scratch plate, being, you know, a little overconfident, getting ahead of myself. Come into focus, please. Thank you. So what we'll do before I button it up is we'll just give it a little tap, and so we're on the neck position here. That's fine, and there's nothing happening with the others. Into the position 4. Both of those should work, but not that. Then centre, that should work, but not those. And these two, but not that. And that one. That's it. Done. Ooh, scary stuff. Yes, so there we go. And we should be revisiting an old friend this weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. Alright folks, well, have a lovely rest of the week. I'll see you on Saturday, and thanks ever so much for tuning in. Adios amigos. Ta-ra.